You are here. A still room holds you gently. The air is quiet and steady. Outside the window, rain falls in a soft, patient rhythm. You do not need to do anything now. Nothing to solve. Nothing to remember. Nothing to prepare. Just this moment. Just this room. Just the rain. The room is simple. Calm walls. A smooth wooden floor. A small table nearby. A faint, warm light rests in one corner, not bright, not dim, just enough to make the shadows soft. Rain makes the window slightly hazy. Tiny streams gather and slide down the glass. They move slowly, then faster, then slow again. Each drop joins another, and then disappears at the bottom edge. You can listen without trying. The rain does all the work. It keeps time for you. It carries the night forward, one gentle sound at a time. Let your shoulders loosen a little. Not all at once. Just a small release. Let your jaw soften. Let the tongue rest. Let the space behind your eyes feel quiet. If thoughts appear, that is fine. Thoughts can come and go like the rain. They touch the window of your mind, and then slide away. You do not have to follow them. Notice the feeling of the air on your skin. It is cool and clean. It feels steady. It feels safe. Somewhere in the room, the wood holds warmth from earlier in the day. Not heat. Just a gentle memory of warmth. The floor feels solid. The room feels grounded. Outside, the rain is constant. It does not rush you. It does not ask for anything. It simply falls, and falls, and falls. Now, allow your breathing to become a little slower. There is no perfect way to breathe. Just let it happen naturally. Inhale. Softly. And exhale. Slowly. The room stays still as you breathe. The light stays warm. The shadows stay gentle. The rain stays steady. You are safe in this still room with rain. You are allowed to rest here. You are allowed to let go. The rain continues. Soft. Steady. Endless in the best way. And you can simply listen. The room remains quiet. Nothing has changed, and nothing needs to change. The rain continues outside the window, steady and unhurried. Each sound blends into the next, forming a smooth, endless layer. There is no beginning and no end to it. Just a gentle presence that stays. You are still here, resting in this room. You do not need to focus on the rain. You do not need to follow it. It is enough to know that it is there. Your body can begin to settle more deeply now. Not by effort, but by permission. Feel the weight of your head. Let it be supported completely. There is no need to hold it upright. It can rest fully, without balance or control. Your neck can soften. The muscles there no longer need to stay alert. They can release slowly, little by little. Your shoulders can sink downward. They do not need to carry anything anymore. If they are still holding tension, that is fine. They can release at their own pace. The rain keeps falling. Your arms can feel heavy. From the shoulders, down through the elbows, all the way to your hands. Your fingers can rest naturally, without shape or intention. Notice how still everything feels. The room does not move. The light does not shift. The rain remains constant. Your breathing continues on its own. There is nothing to correct. Nothing to adjust. Each breath comes in quietly. Each breath leaves just as quietly. There is space between them, and that space feels calm. If thoughts pass through your mind, you do not need to stop them. You do not need to listen closely. They can drift by, like distant reflections on glass. The rain does not respond to thoughts. It does not react. It simply continues. Your chest can feel softer now. Not empty. Just less held. Your stomach can loosen. There is no need to keep it firm or protected. It can rise and fall gently with each breath. Your lower back can rest. Your hips can feel supported. The surface beneath you holds your weight easily. The rain moves steadily outside. Drop after drop, sound after sound. All blending into one quiet pattern. Your legs can relax. From the thighs, to the knees, down through the calves, all the way to the feet. Your feet do not need to point or press. They can simply be still. Warm? Loose. The room feels settled now. As if it has been waiting for this moment of complete stillness. Nothing is required from you. You are not waiting for anything. You are not preparing for anything. The rain understands this state. It matches it perfectly. If awareness fades slightly, that is welcome. If attention drifts, that is fine. You do not need to bring it back. The sound of rain is enough. The quiet of the room is enough. You can allow yourself to sink further into rest. Not by doing, but by letting go. Each breath out can feel like a soft release. A gentle downward movement. A settling. The room stays still. The rain stays steady. And you can continue resting here, without effort, without thought, without direction. Just resting. The room is still. The rain continues outside. Steady. Even. It falls without urgency. Without pause. The sound reaches the room softly. It does not push. It does not demand attention. The space remains unchanged. The walls do not respond. The floor does not shift. Everything stays as it is. The rain exists beyond the room. It does not enter. It does not leave. It remains outside. Consistent. Reliable. The sound moves evenly through the air. There is no direction to follow. No point to focus on. It spreads. It settles. The room holds the sound without effort. Nothing needs to be adjusted. The light remains the same. Neither bright nor dark. Just enough. Shadows do not move. They stay where they are. The air feels settled. Not heavy. Not light. Just present. The sound of rain continues. It blends with the stillness of the room. Neither interrupts the other. There is no change in temperature. No signal of time passing. Moments move quietly. Unmarked. The space does not ask for attention. It does not ask for thought. It allows everything to remain simple. The rain falls steadily. Drop after drop. Without emphasis. There is no beginning to notice. No ending to wait for. It continues beyond counting. The room remains safe. Unchanging. Neutral. Nothing approaches. Nothing recedes. The sound stays outside. The space stays inside. Both remain separate. Both remain calm. The air carries the sound gently. It does not amplify it. It does not reduce it. It lets the sound pass as it is. The room does not react. It does not absorb. It does not resist. It simply remains. Time does not announce itself. It does not signal progression. Moments dissolve quietly. One into the next. There is no need to track them. The rain continues. Even. Steady. The sound creates no images. It does not form stories. It exists only as sound. The room holds that sound. Without effort. Without change. The space feels stable. Unmoving. There is nothing unfamiliar here. Nothing new to process. Everything has already settled. The rain remains consistent. It does not grow stronger. It does not fade. The sound remains evenly distributed. No foreground. No background. Just sound. Just space. The room remains. The rain remains. Nothing shifts. The air remains calm. It does not circulate noticeably. Stillness stays intact. The sound does not interrupt silence. It becomes part of it. There is no contrast to notice. No edge to define. Everything blends softly. The rain continues beyond the room. Beyond the moment. The room stays present. Contained. Quiet. Nothing enters awareness sharply. Nothing calls for response. The space remains neutral. Safe. Unchanging. The sound continues. The room continues. Everything stays. The rain continues. The rain continues. It is no longer something you need to notice clearly. It does not stand out. It does not ask for attention. It simply exists, steady and unchanged. The room remains the same. Walls stay where they are. The light does not shift. The air feels still, quiet, and even. Nothing new is happening. Nothing needs to happen. You are here, resting. There is no need to think about how you are resting. Your body already knows. Breathing continues without effort. It comes in softly. It leaves softly. There is no need to follow it closely. Inhale. Exhale. There is no instruction hidden in the breath. It does not need guidance. It moves on its own, slow and calm. Your body feels settled. Not tight. Not loose. Just present, supported. The surface beneath you holds everything easily. It does not resist your weight. It does not shift or respond. It simply remains. The rain blends into the quiet. The quiet blends into the room. The room blends into stillness. There is no clear boundary between these things anymore. They exist together, without separation. If a thought appears, there is no need to look at it closely. No need to name it. No need to decide where it came from. Thoughts can drift through, like faint movement behind glass. They do not stay. They do not require a response. The rain does not react to them. It continues at the same pace. Unchanged. Moments may appear, where attention feels distant. Soft. Unfocused. Those moments do not need to be held. They do not need to be corrected. They can pass on their own. Your awareness can feel wide now, or it can feel narrow. Both are fine. There is no preference. Time does not need to be measured. You do not need to know how long you have been here. Time can move quietly without you noticing. Nothing is approaching. Nothing is expected. The room remains quiet. The rain remains steady. Your body feels heavier in a comfortable way. Not pulled down. Just settled, supported, complete. There is no edge to this moment. No clear beginning. No clear ending. Just continuation. The sound of rain repeats gently. Over and over. Without change. Repetition is safe. Repetition is calm. Your mind does not need to stay alert. It does not need to listen carefully. It does not need to stay awake. If awareness fades slightly, that is natural. If it returns briefly, that is also natural. Nothing is wrong. The rain continues. The room continues. Breathing continues. There is nothing to hold on to. There is nothing to let go of. You do not need to remember this moment. You do not need to keep it. Rest happens quietly, without effort, without instruction. The body understands how to rest. It has always known. The room offers no distraction. The rain offers no demand. Everything stays simple. You can remain here, without direction, without intention, without thought. Just resting. The rain continues. It does not change. It does not pause. It does not become louder or softer. It stays the same. There is no need to notice it clearly. There is no need to listen closely. It can remain in the background, doing what it has been doing all along. The room stays still. Nothing moves. Nothing shifts. Nothing asks for attention. You are still resting here. There is no need to remember how you arrived. There is no need to think about staying. The body remains settled. Breathing continues. Slow. Quiet. Unforced. Inhale. Exhale. There is no rhythm to follow. No count to keep. The breath moves by itself. The rain blends into the quiet. The quiet blends into the body. The body blends into rest. There is no clear line between these things. If awareness drifts, that is fine. If it fades, that is fine. Nothing needs to be adjusted. The rain continues without effort. The room remains without change. There is no reason to stay alert. There is no reason to stay focused. The mind does not need to hold anything. Thoughts, if they appear, do not need to be noticed. They can pass through without shape, without meaning. They do not stay long enough to matter. The rain does not respond. It remains steady. The body feels present, but not active. Supported. Still. There is no sense of direction now. No forward. No backward. Just here. Time does not need to be known. Minutes do not need to be counted. Time can move on its own. The room does not change with time. The rain does not change with time. Everything remains simple. Breathing continues quietly. Each breath like the last. And the one before. Repetition feels safe. Repetition feels calm. Nothing new is introduced. Nothing is removed. The sound of rain fills the space evenly. There are no sharp edges. No moments that stand out. Awareness can soften further. There is no need to stay with the words. There is no need to follow the sentences. They can pass by, like the rain itself. The body rests. The surface beneath you supports everything. There is no effort involved. The room remains. The rain remains. You do not need to listen. You do not need to think. You do not need to stay awake. Rest continues naturally. Breathing continues naturally. The rain continues. And nothing needs to change. The rain continues. It does not change. It does not pause. It does not move toward anything. It simply continues. There is nothing to notice now. Nothing to listen for. Nothing to understand. The sound is already here. It does not need attention. The room remains. Still. Quiet. Unchanged. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The rain continues. Breathing continues. There is no need to follow either of them. They move without instruction. Words continue as well. But they no longer carry meaning. They are not asking to be understood. They are not offering information. They pass through a sound. Like rain. Like air. The body rests. There is no need to notice how. There is no need to feel it. Rest happens on its own. The surface beneath remains. It supports everything without effort. No adjustment is required. The rain continues. soft, even, unbroken. There is no difference between one moment and the next. Moments blend together. They lose their edges. Time does not need attention. Minutes move without being counted. There is no reason to stay aware of them. Awareness can fade. That is natural. If it returns briefly, that is natural. Nothing needs to be corrected. The room remains quiet. The rain remains steady. Nothing pulls focus. Nothing invites thought. Words continue, but they are only sound now. They do not point to anything. They do not describe anything. They exist as rhythm, as tone, as repetition. The rain continues. Breathing continues. Stillness continues. There is no task here. No role to play. Nothing is waiting. Nothing is approaching. The sound fills the space evenly. No sharp edges. No contrast. Just continuity. Words come and go. They do not stay long enough to matter. There is nothing to remember. Nothing to recall. Nothing to finish. The rain continues. The room remains. Everything stays the same. Repetition feels safe. Repetition removes effort. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to change. Awareness can soften further. There is no need to stay with the words. There is no need to follow the voice. Sound can pass through without resistance. Like rain passing through the night. The body remains supported. Not active. Not passive. Just there. The surface beneath does not move. It does not respond. It simply remains. The rain continues. Even, steady, uninterrupted. There is no signal to wake. No signal to respond. Nothing calls for attention. The room stays quiet. The rain stays steady. Time passes quietly. It does not announce itself. Moments dissolve into one another. There is no before. No after. Just continuation. Words continue to appear. They disappear just as easily. They leave no trace. There is nothing to hold. There is nothing to release. The rain continues. Breathing continues. Rest continues. Everything remains simple. Nothing stands out. Nothing pulls you back. There is no need to listen. There is no need to stay awake. The sound continues on its own. The room remains. The rain remains. And nothing needs to change. The rain continues. Still. Even. Unchanged. No signal. No instruction. Just sound. Rain. Soft. Steady. No need to listen. No need to follow. The room remains. Quiet. Still. Nothing moves. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The rain continues. Breathing continues. No effort. No direction. Words are only sound now. No meaning. No message. They pass. They fade. Rain remains. The same sound. Over and over. No difference. No change. Time dissolves. Moments blend. No before. No after. Just this. Rain. Still. Sound. Nothing to hold. Nothing to release. The room stays. The rain stays. Awareness softens. Then softer. No need. No task. Rain continues. Soft. Even. Unbroken. Nothing calls. Nothing pulls. Just sound. Just rest. The rain continues. No change. No variation. No direction. It remains exactly as it is. The room stays quiet. The space does not shift. Nothing enters. Nothing leaves. Everything remains. The sound of rain fills the air evenly. There is no single drop to follow. No moment stands apart from another. The sound blends into itself. You do not need to be aware of listening. You do not need to notice the sound. It can remain present, without being noticed. The body stays still. Not tense. Not loose. Just present. The surface beneath remains, supporting everything without response. There is no adjustment needed. Breathing continues. Quiet. Automatic. There is no beginning to the breath. There is no end. It simply continues. Time does not ask to be noticed. It does not mark itself. It moves without leaving traces. Moments dissolve as they pass. Nothing collects. Nothing accumulates. The room remains unchanged. The rain remains steady. Awareness stays soft. There is no need to sharpen it. There is no need to follow it. It can remain unfocused. It can remain open. Words continue to appear. They do not carry meaning. They do not form images. They exist only as sound. Sound passes through. It leaves nothing behind. There is no need to understand. There is no need to remember. Nothing is being built. Nothing is being completed. The rain continues. The sound remains even. Smooth. Unbroken. The body does not need attention. It does not need instruction. Rest continues quietly. There is no signal to respond to. No cue to follow. Everything stays as it is. The room remains. The rain remains. No movement. No change. The mind does not need to engage. It does not need to rest. It does not need to do anything. It can remain absent. Awareness can stay distant. Soft. Undefined. There is no edge to this state. No boundary. It extends without direction. The sound of rain fills the space. The space holds the sound. Neither changes. Breathing continues. Rain continues. Nothing interrupts. Nothing calls attention back. The room stays quiet. The rain stays steady. Everything remains. And it is enough. The rain continues. It remains steady. It remains even. It remains the same. There is no change in the sound. There is no change in the space. There is no change in the moment. The room remains quiet. Nothing shifts. Nothing enters. Nothing leaves. Everything stays as it is. The sound of rain fills the space evenly. There is no single place to listen. There is no single moment to notice. The sound blends into itself. It does not stand out. It does not fade away. It simply remains. You do not need to be aware of listening. You do not need to notice the sound. It can stay present without attention. The body remains still. Not tense. Not loose. Just present. Just supported. The surface beneath remains. It does not respond. It does not move. It simply holds everything. Breathing continues. Quiet. Automatic. Unforced. There is no beginning to the breath. There is no end to the breath. It continues without instruction. Time does not ask to be noticed. It does not announce itself. It moves quietly. Moments dissolve as they pass. Nothing gathers. Nothing accumulates. The room remains unchanged. The rain remains steady. Awareness stays soft. There is no need to sharpen it. There is no need to follow it. It can remain unfocused. It can remain distant. Words continue to appear. They do not form meaning. They do not create images. They exist only as sound. They pass through. They leave nothing behind. There is no need to understand. There is no need to remember. There is no need to respond. Nothing is being built. Nothing is being completed. The rain continues. The sound remains even. Smooth. Unbroken. There is no signal to follow. No cue to respond to. Everything stays still. The body does not need attention. It does not need instruction. It does not need adjustment. Rest continues quietly. Nothing changes. Nothing shifts. The room remains. The rain remains. Awareness can stay distant. Soft. Undefined. There is no edge to this state. No boundary. No direction. It extends without movement. The sound of rain fills the space. The space holds the sound. Neither changes. Breathing continues. Rain continues. Nothing interrupts. Nothing pulls attention back. Time passes quietly. Without markers. Without measure. Moments blend together. There is no before. There is no after. Just continuation. Words may continue. They do not require listening. They do not require meaning. They exist as sound. As rhythm. As softness. There is nothing to hold. There is nothing to release. The rain continues. The room remains. Everything stays the same. Repetition remains safe. Repetition remains calm. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to change. Awareness stays soft. The sound remains even. The space remains quiet. Rest continues. And everything remains. The rain continues. It does not change. It does not shift. It does not move toward anything. The sound remains even. The sound remains steady. The sound remains the same. There is no variation in the rain. There is no variation in the space. There is no variation in the moment. The room remains quiet. The air remains still. Nothing enters. Nothing leaves. Everything stays as it is. The sound of rain fills the space evenly. There is no single place to listen. There is no single sound to follow. No moment stands apart. The sound blends into itself. It does not rise. It does not fall. It does not fade away. It simply remains. You do not need to listen. You do not need to notice. The sound can exist without attention. The body remains still. Not tense. Not loose. Just present. Just supported. The surface beneath remains. It does not respond. It does not shift. It simply holds everything. Breathing continues. Quiet. Automatic. Unforced. There is no beginning to the breath. There is no end to the breath. It continues without instruction. Time moves quietly. Without markers. Without measure. Moments dissolve as they pass. Nothing gathers. Nothing accumulates. The room remains unchanged. The rain remains steady. Awareness stays soft. There is no need to sharpen it. There is no need to follow it. It can remain distant. It can remain open. Words may continue. They do not form meaning. They do not create images. They exist only as sound. They pass through. They leave nothing behind. There is no need to understand. There is no need to remember. There is no need to respond. Nothing is being built. Nothing is being completed. The rain continues. The sound remains even. Smooth. Unbroken. There is no signal to follow. No cue to respond to. Everything stays still. The body does not need attention. It does not need instruction. It does not need adjustment. Rest continues quietly. Nothing changes. Nothing shifts. The room remains. The rain remains. Awareness can stay distant. Soft. Undefined. There is no edge to this state. No boundary. No direction. It extends without movement. The sound of rain fills the space. The space holds the sound. Neither changes. Breathing continues. Rain continues. Nothing interrupts. Nothing pulls attention back. Time passes quietly. Without notice. Without emphasis. Moments blend together. There is no before. There is no after. Just continuation. Words may appear. They do not require listening. They do not require meaning. They exist as sound. As rhythm. As softness. There is nothing to hold. There is nothing to release. The rain continues. The room remains. Everything stays the same. Repetition remains safe. Repetition remains calm. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to change. Awareness stays soft. The sound remains even. The space remains quiet. Rest continues. Everything remains. The rain continues. The room remains. And it continues. The rain continues. The sound stays even. The sound stays steady. Nothing changes. There is no variation. No rise. No fall. The room remains quiet. The space remains still. Nothing enters. Nothing leaves. Everything stays. The sound fills the space. There is no place to listen. There is no moment to notice. Sound remains sound. Breathing continues. Quiet. Unforced. No beginning. No ending. Time moves without shape. Without markers. Without measure. Moments dissolve. They do not collect. They do not remain. The rain continues. Awareness stays soft. There is no need to focus. There is no need to follow. It can remain distant. It can remain open. Words may continue. They do not carry meaning. They do not create images. They exist only as sound. They pass through. They fade. Nothing needs attention. Nothing needs response. The room remains. The rain remains. Everything stays the same. The body remains. Supported. Still. No effort. No direction. The sound continues. Over and over. The same. Repetition remains calm. Repetition remains safe. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to change. Time passes quietly. Without notice. Moments blend together. No before. No after. Just continuation. Sound remains. Space remains. Rest continues. The rain continues. The room remains. Everything remains. And it continues.